that patriotism is very important to them. Now, that is down from 61% just in 2019 and 70% back in 1998.
And that 98, maybe I'm old, but that doesn't seem that long ago.
No, we're not talking about, well, in 1952.
And that was even before 9/11, right? So
yeah,
people still felt patriotic?
They sure did. And then meantime, 35% of Americans say that patriotism is somewhat important, while 27% say it is not important.
Yeah, joining us now to discuss, radio show host Steve Sanchez and Project 21 member Whitley Yates. Steve, you know, it goes beyond that also. We see religion dropping in significance. We can get into those numbers. But to me, here's what bothers me, Steve. These are the exact values that made us an exceptional country. And it seems like, we're making this opinion thing, but that's the danger of wokeism, okay? While they make fun of you criticizing wokeism, it's exactly that kind of attitude that makes you not appreciate, for instance, religion and patriotism, and the working hard is also in that group.
Yeah, absolutely agree. You know, it's funny, Bob, I spoke about this last night on my radio show and was just stunned that in 25 years, we've had such a significant drop in terms of that belief system, you know, the national character of the country. And you're right, this is what America was founded on: exceptionalism, God, family, country, pride of your homeland. And it's changed. I'll tell you what's changed. You took God out of everything. God is no longer can even be talked about without being criticized. And there's no God. There's no morality. Who do you look to? You look to yourself. We don't have that type of ethical integrity to be able to push ourselves forward as a citizen or a human. This is what's happened. We've taken it away. It's not taught in schools. You can't openly talk about patriotism in schools without being labeled a bigot. And the trajectory of the country has changed, and we've allowed it. We fell asleep at the wheel, to be truthful.
Yeah, Whitley, I want to push on that idea of wokeism that Bob mentioned just a little bit. We've heard recently left-wing media outlets saying, well, the right can't even manage to define what woke is. And it is difficult to define because I think it's always changing. But at the same time, I think it really is kind of an ongoing philosophy that is in contrast to traditional American values, and then people are bullied into following that group think. I mean, I think in general that is what woke is now. So do you think this is really an overall arching movement to take away patriotism and to actually go towards a very different reality in this country?
I would agree with you. I think what has happened is we replaced patriotism with preferred pronouns, and that therein lies a problem and lies an issue. When we stop having pride in our country, when we stop remembering the history of who we are in this great country, and we started focusing more on identity and all of these different elements and the dimensions of who people are as opposed to who we are together, then that was a problem. And so what you're going to see is this idea of wokeism, which I define as an overt social awareness without self-awareness, right? The perfunctory gestures of wanting to advocate for social justice and racial justice without doing anything to progress or change those systems. And so here we are in a society that wants to perform and act as though they're socially aware, not understanding that they have absolutely no self-awareness about how what they're doing is causing the deterioration of our nation.
And Steve, what do you think has caused it? Why do you think people's attitudes are different now?
You know, I'll tell you, I love tech, I love social media, I love the internet. But let's just look at the timing in all of this. We're talking about this last poll was in 1998, 25 years ago. The internet, social media, wanting to be self-liked, the likes, and I've got to get the hits. All of that, I think, has played a role in the deterioration of who we are as an American citizen. You know, participation trophies. We allowed the hippie generation of the 60s, we allowed their children to now take center stage and create this ideology that is so contrary to what America really is, and none of us said anything about it. We just stayed quiet, and we always left it for the other guy to deal with, and now we're all dealing with it. That's just my opinion, but I think that's pretty right on in terms of what we're seeing in this country.
And he uses like a hippie term, right on.
Very, very consistent metaphor. Very well done. Yeah. Whitley, final thoughts here. We're almost out of time, but I see you nodding.
I agree with him. We have mandated mediocrity. We don't want any winners, and we definitely don't want any losers. So we're going to slow down the winners, and we're going to raise up the losers. And that therein lies a problem. That's not how our system is. There are going to be winners and losers. And teach your children and your spouses and people around you to want to be winners, not just for themselves, not for the community, but for the country.
Well, it seems to me that this topic is an important one that we should be having continually for self-reflection and what's going on in this country. When you can't be patriotic without somehow feeling guilty about it, when you can't believe that you're exceptional without people criticizing it, having religious faith, however you define that, when there's something wrong with that, we need to have a conversation about that as a country, or we're not going to be the strong country we were. And I would go as far to say, we're going to show a video again at the top of the hour. Those officers there have no idea what their background is. I'll tell you this, though. They believe in their country. They believe in what they're doing. They believe in their community, probably believe in God, and they go into harm's way and save people.
And again, that's what true American heroism is all about. I do hope we can get it back. Steve Sanchez, Whitley Yates, thank you.
Thank you.